Hello, I'm Matt from Adventurous Way, and today we are going to be adding some skirting around our outdoors RV travel trailer as we prepare for some winter camping. While the weather right now is really nice, I'm standing here in a t-shirt and shorts. The weather's going to get a lot colder very soon here in northern Vermont. In fact, we're expecting temperatures even below 0 Fahrenheit, not to mention the wind chill. One of the best things that we can do to help keep the RV warm, not just us inside, but also pipes and things underneath, is to add some skirting to the RV. What is skirting? Well, essentially it just means to close the gap between the bottom of the RV and the ground. There are many different ways to skirt an RV, and we did a lot of research before deciding which way we were going to choose. We've elected to go with a foam board, but we could have gone with custom products that are based on vinyl that wrap around the RV and snap on to quick release things all the way around. We could have gone with plywood or several other different options. We chose to go with this foam board for a couple of reasons. One, it's pretty much the cheapest way to do it. This is just some foam board we picked up at Home Depot yesterday, and it's about $25 per sheet, per 4x8 foot sheet of this 1.5 inch thick foam board. We've got 5 boards here, which we think will be plenty for our rig. So it costs us about $125 for all the foam board, plus about another $20 or so for some tape on top of that. Going to be a little bit more difficult to install because we've got to cut the boards ourselves, but it should give us a really good weather-tight seal that will help to keep our RV warm this winter.
Well, that's close, but perfect amount of space for 5 boards. Okay, we're ready to roll. Oh, look at that still water in the river. That's amazing.
Welcome to Vermont.
The foam board that we're using here comes in 4 foot by 8 foot sheets. We thought originally we could cut them lengthways and run them along our RV. Unfortunately, our RV sits so high off the floor that at the back of the RV right now, it's more than 2 feet of a gap between the ground and the bottom of the RV. So if we did that, we would have too little material to make the other side out of. Also, our RV isn't that long, so we don't really need these giant 8 foot lengths. We can actually go and cut the other way to give ourselves 4 foot lengths, and that'll make it much easier, plus hopefully allow us to waste less of the material. So the plan is we're going to cut some strips along here, measured to fit under the RV, and then tape them to the skirt that already exists down the side of our RV. And that should give us a really good tight seal. We're going to be using this Nashua foil tape. It is rated for cold weather, and we've tested it. It sticks really well to both the foam board and to the RV, the skirt, the trim that's on there already. So fingers crossed this will work really well. The way we're going to tape it underneath is actually kind of on the back side of this bottom trim piece. So we don't think this is going to leave any residue on the RV, but just in case it does, the vast majority of the tape will actually be on the back side of the RV, so you won't even be able to see it. Yesterday we made really good progress on the skirting. We've got the foam board on about half of the RV now. We've got it along this passenger side and the back done. It's all taped from the backside, kind of from underneath the trailer, so that was a lot of crawling around underneath there and getting that taped on. But it's a really, really good seal. You can't see any light at all coming through from inside. Once we're done, if we've still got some tape left over, we are going to tape up some of the seams on the outside as well. Like I say, they're taped on the inside, so really it's just an extra little bit of precaution there. Before we do seal up the trailer entirely, we want to store some things under the trailer this winter. We've got a load of stuff that normally our storage bays are really full, and the truck bed has a fair amount of stuff in as well. We don't need a lot of that stuff during winter. We're just not going to be grilling during winter. We don't need the hitch because the trailer's not going anywhere. So a few things like that are bulky, we're going to store underneath the RV. That way they're out of the elements. We'll raise them up on some blocks so they're not on the ground. And that'll just allow us just to spread out a little bit more in our storage bays and inside the RV as well. Plus keeping the truck bed a little emptier and just a little easier to get to things inside. So the goal for today is to get things sorted so we know what we want to store under the RV, what we're going to store in the storage bays, and then finish off the skirting and seal things up. We also put a couple of temperature sensors under there yesterday. We've put one in kind of the open space underneath the RV, behind the skirting, and another one up inside the underbelly, so above the plastic sort of layer at the bottom of the trailer, up inside there near the tank valves. That way we can keep a really close eye on the temperatures, and we can also see how much of a difference this skirting is making. It's been slow progress so far. Like I say, we were hoping to finish yesterday and we only got about halfway done, but we've never done it before and we're taking our time, and so far it's looking pretty good. We've been carrying around all of our ski and snowboarding gear for over 2 years on the road. I remember still packing it up end of July in California when we left and we hit the road. We haven't used it since then, and one of the reasons that we're here in Vermont is because we're really, really excited to finally get to do some skiing. We've just taken our skis and snowboard out of the trailer for the first time since we put them in. Diana's unpacked her snowboard and it's all good, it's not broken. Mine's in a hard case, so fingers crossed my skis are fine as well. Oh, I have my skis back. They look good. I'll have to take them out and make sure, but in the hard case I'm sure they're absolutely fine.
I'm so happy to see my board. For the longest time I was riding on a board that I bought in college that was used, and for my 30th birthday a couple years ago I bought myself a birthday present for this board. Okay, chairs, table or grill?
I'll take a grill. Okay, so we've tried to store as many things under here as possible. These are not the easiest working conditions, but we've tried to raise things up off the ground on these yellow blocks where we can. There's obviously nothing under here that is going to freeze or could be dangerous or anything. It's just things like table, chairs, solar panel.
I did not think that this would be a use case for a high clearance trailer.
No, I wish it were higher clearance, like a fifth wheel, if I'm honest right now. But hey, it works.
So we put the hitch, your hard case, ski case,
Yep.
suitcases, grill,
Camping box,
table,
chairs, and then a box of miscellaneous tools and things. And we checked all these plastic boxes, there's no cracks underneath. So even if water does flow through here, it won't get up into the boxes, but hopefully the yellow blocks will just make sure the water can drain around. This is also the higher end of the trailer as well, so that's why we've used the front rather than the back where water would drain out.
It'll take us a week to take it off.
It's going to take a lot longer than that.
So now that you have the trailer taped up from the inside almost all the way around, any tips?
Yeah, don't do it. No, we've definitely made our lives a little bit harder by taping from the inside, which we knew before we started. The reason we've done it is so that if there is any residue left in this tape, it's all hidden from view. Plus, we've got everything kind of wedged in so tight that I'm just not concerned at all about the wind blowing the boards or anything else. We're also going to tape the seams on the outside. It'll just add a bit more strength. I think if we did this again, I would do exactly the same, although it's not fun working under here. It's a bit cramped. I think the end result will be worth it.
So here under the slide, you actually can sit straight as opposed to laying down.
This is the tallest section under our RV. Up near the front, I was kind of lying on my back and it was pretty fiddly. Down in the back of the RV, because there's a slope to the ground, it's a little bit easier back there. It's actually not too bad under ours. We've got roughly 2 feet of clearance, a little bit less at the front, a little bit more at the back. So it's not too bad a space to work in. But yeah, one more seam to tape up and then the slide will be done. We are just about finished installing the skirting on our RV here, or the foam board. We have one panel left to put in, and that's the panel on the far side around near where the valves are. We've left that till the end because we haven't yet installed our new sewer hose, so we want to get that on before we install the board. So how's it been installing this foam board skirting on our RV? Well, it's taken us longer maybe than we thought. We spent a good chunk of 2 days to do this, and with 2 people working on it, it was pretty tough going at times, crawling around under the RV. Undeniably, we made our lives harder than they needed to be by taping from the backside. We did that because we wanted to make sure that if there's any residue left over when we peel off the tape come spring, that it won't be visible on the outside of the trailer. Having done it though, it actually worked really, really well. We were able to get a really nice secure join between the foam panels and the sort of the trim piece on the trailer. And honestly, when you look in through that open panel now, there's almost no daylight coming through whatsoever. The only bits are some small gaps at the bottoms of the panels where the ground isn't completely level. But once we have the first snow, we'll be able to really pack those tight and seal those gaps up as well. So honestly, this approach worked really well. And I think if we had to do it again, I would probably go for this same approach. Now, obviously, we don't know if it's actually worked yet. We are standing here in beautiful weather. I'm in shorts and t-shirt right now, but that is not going to last. It is already mid-November, and in just a couple of weeks, temperatures will really, really start to drop. So that's when we'll really find out whether this approach has worked. And of course, we will keep you updated on how it goes. Once we had installed the heated sewer hose, which you saw in our last video, we were able to finish up the skirting with the very last panel going in place. We have finally finished the skirting on our outdoors RV, and we have run out of tape. This was the end of the 50-yard roll. We have just a few little sections just to put tape over, so we're going to order another roll of this and just finish those up. But for the most part, the skirting is all finished. We've left ourselves these little access panels that we can get to things like the valves behind the RV if we need to. We will put, again, some more tape on these just to secure them. But we're there, we've made it. The whole RV is skirted, and I think finally we are ready for winter.
We finally got another roll of this Nashua extreme weather foil tape. So now we'll get to work and seal up the remaining seams.
It hasn't been long since we installed the RV skirting, but already we are seeing the advantages. The temperature behind the RV skirting is remaining incredibly stable, usually somewhere around the low 40s. And in fact, on one cold night where it got down to 19 degrees outside, it was still 38 degrees behind the skirting, so it is definitely making a difference. So if you enjoyed this video about how we added the skirting to our RV, then be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos about our experiences winter camping in Vermont in our outdoors RV travel trailer. See you next time.
We can totally sleep here. If I kick it out of the trailer.
I would rather not.
Well, then be a good boy.
If I'm totally honest.